I want to start on this project. I'm not gonna bother messing with this thing. I'm just gonna make a new one from scratch, but I'm gonna use this one as a template, and then I'm gonna go ahead and kind of copy the base layout of this, and then when we go to make the second go-kart, if we make the second go-kart, I will then have taken what I've learnt from this go-kart and changed it for the next one. So I've got it at the right length. Now I just want to go ahead and bend this bottom tube, and I want to bend it, so I want to have it go all the way to the back where that wheel is, and a bit longer maybe, and then one hoop if I possibly can do that. I'm excited, so let's go ahead and start. I've done a bit of the math. I can't do the whole go-kart in one hoop because I've got a 4 meter length, but that won't matter. I'll just make a shim and whatever later on. So I'm gonna do one of the sides of the go-kart is 2 meters long, and then the front I'm gonna make it 70 wide, and then 2 meters again. So we're gonna do 4 bends, because one bend, the first bend is 20 degrees, the next bend is 70, and then 70 and 20 on the other side. So 2 meters, 70, and then 2 meters again. And that will be the main floor bar, and then we'll probably work on, I don't know what else from that, probably the roof bar, I guess. Alright, as you can see, I've made the base frame. Now I'll show you in a second. So roughly, here's the seating position. You can clearly see I've made it a bit wider than that one. I'll show you a comparison in a second, but I've made it a bit wider just because I was thinking elbow room. Elbow room is important, and I was also thinking leg room. And this I could easily mount maybe a second seat, probably not, so we won't worry about that. Alright, let me show you the comparison. Okay, so there you have it. We're about 100 mil bigger, 100 mil wider on either side. I have enough elbow room, but with it being a little bit wider, it's going to be a lot more elbow room. And I won't have to do this thing where it curves in, but I'm still thinking about what's the next step I want to do. I'll probably make this hoop as the next step. here is about 4 hours of progress. I bent these up. The hardest part to bend was this. I mean, they're all pretty hard to bend only because I have a limited amount of space in the garage. So every time I go to bend something, there's a wall that's in the way. So maybe I'm gonna think about, we got a concrete slab in the backyard. I might think about bolting like 2 Dynabolts to that slab and then moving the bender to the garage, from the garage to the backyard every time I want to bend something, only because then I'm not restricted by space. But yeah, so this is what I've got. What do you think? I think it's pretty cool. I think see, I'm about 5'10", so you can see that someone who's about 6 foot, I would say 6'2" or 3", could also fit in this go-kart. So that's very important because I got a few tall friends. So obviously I'll be putting a sliding seat in here. Look at the height. The height is pretty good, I think. There's enough room for me to have a helmet. Also, I'm sitting on a pretty tall bucket. Obviously the seat's not going to be sitting this tall, this high up. So think about that. I'll obviously be about 2 inches lower, so then there's even more room for someone who's taller. The go-kart's a little bit bigger. What I decided to do was I decided to change the angles a bit. I kind of like how this goes out. Also, I'm gonna need to extend this, but I'll do it with like shims and like that should be all good. What else? I think what I should do next is weld this up or tack it in, and then kind of figure out where I want the steering to go, like where I want to do the dashboard and how I want to mount it. I'm not sure how to mount it yet. I feel like if I keep bending stuff, I'll probably re-bend those things. So I think from here I will tack these in probably next weekend, and then next weekend we'll do the dash. Then we'll head over to the back and we'll make the a few vertical supports, and we'll make the rear section pretty much. I'm really looking forward to getting to the suspension though. That's gonna be my most exciting thing. As far as the configuration, I think I'll just have the wheel like right where my foot is. That's where the suspension will start. I'll have to figure out about the rear suspension, but I mean this looks great so far. The bends look good, everything looks good. I'm happy with it. There's no crinkling, there's no imperfections, there's no like faults in the bends. It all looks great. I like the size of it. Yeah. This is gonna be crazy.